You know the vibes. We are back. The Hoop Genius podcast back better than ever. Myself, Momutsi, three-time NBA champion, BJ Armstrong. And today we bring you a very special guest, an icon in the world of sports, video games, media, whatever you want to call him. Ronnie2K. Ronnie Singer's with us. Ronnie, how are you doing?
I'm great. What an intro. I really appreciate it, Mo. Good to be here. Good to see you, BJ, as well.
Oh, right. It's great to see you. I'm holding off the rest of my family. My son, I told him I was going to be talking with you, speaking with you, interviewing you. And he was like, Dad, I have to come on the show. I got to meet him.
Yeah, dude. Have him jump on. I'm always
I got, people, pretty famous that I know. But Ron, he was like, I gotta meet RONNIE2K.
Yeah.
So I'm just letting you know, you are the man. You are the man. All of his friends, they wanted to come over. I said, hey, he's a great guy. What is he like? I said, hey. So you're the man. It's your world. It's your world.
I don't have 3 NBA championships, and I don't have my own podcast like Mo.
But you have the video game. I don't know what's in the video game. I don't think you're marketing to people my age. But whatever's in there, it's more valuable than the 3 championships.
BJ, when I get out to LA, I'm gonna teach you 2K. I'm gonna teach you how to play. You say it's not for people your age. I'm gonna put you on.
My son tried to teach me here all week. Once we knew Ronnie was coming on. And all right, I get it, but those guys, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable the quality of the game. It's unbelievable. You guys have done an incredible job, and it's only getting better. It's only getting better.
Our development team and the way they map out the progress. Obviously, Mo's been kind of like amongst the reviewer types over the years. Has been out to some of our preview events and stuff like that. So he can speak to just the transformation of the game in just a few years, right? It's amazing how much effort and thought and trying to bring the game to a basketball audience that's ever evolving and changing. It's really exciting to see the amount of work that goes into it. And our team of Visual Concepts is really incredible. So shout out to them. It's obviously been a dream of mine to be here. My 14th anniversary is in a few weeks. To have represented this company for 14 years, it's just been truly incredible.
I want to ask him just this one question. When you have an athlete like Ja Morant, I call him must-see TV. How do you guys duplicate the movements? I can't. The guy jumps off my television screen.
Yeah,
he's moving around in angles. How do you guys duplicate that?
The sheer athleticism of guys like that, it definitely is a challenge, right? There's so much speed and movement that's just different, and it takes a lot of effort with motion capture and trying to get all the animations correct. I remember the biggest issue we actually had was back in 2016 when Steph was hitting all those threes every game, he averaged 5 or whatever a game, and all of a sudden that was transformative, because how are we going to put this guy that shot 47% from the 3-point line into this game without breaking the game, right?
I remember that was Steph was a cheat code that year because he was lights out.
And then, kids want to duplicate it. So they're my career players getting to build yourself. They all wanted to build Steph. And that was kind of tough to adapt for too, because again, it was kind of breaking that online experience of being able to play. We want to be authentic, and we want to be, a simulation, but we also want to be fun and accessible. So trying to find that balance to make our very dedicated hardcore as excited as the people picking it up for the first time is always a challenge, but a fun one, because we have such great characters to define, like Ja and so many other guys in the league.
Man, for me, born in the 90s, 2K has been with me throughout my whole life. I've seen the game. You talk about how it's developed in recent years, but I think about going from 2K10 up to 2K22. It's two completely different worlds. It's crazy to me. That's why, for me, it's a huge honor now that when I introduced the show today, I actually introduced it incorrectly, because what I need to tell the people is you're listening to the Hoop Genius podcast presented by NBA 2K, because the wonderful people, Ronnie, the team over at NBA 2K UK, have been kind enough to bless us with a sponsorship. So we're going to be bringing you the best podcast in the game, sponsored by NBA 2K. So I want to say, Ronnie, we appreciate you and the whole team.
No, much deserved, Mo. Obviously, you've been a big fan of the game. We want to support up and coming podcasts. You've been doing your thing. Having BJ along for the ride is amazing with his wealth of experience in the game. So kudos to you guys and the work that you've done. The UK team, is always identifying really important outlets to grow basketball in that territory. So it's really cool that you are kind of leading the way. So kudos to you guys.
It's much appreciated. But one thing we have to address now that we've got you in front of us, can we get BJ's player a little bit of a bump in the ratings? Because I was playing the other day.
What is your rating right now, BJ?
They had him on one of the squads, they had him at 71. Then they had him at 75. But his 3-point rating is a 90. Okay, that's nice, but
yeah. That's what my son was saying. I have no idea. This means you guys are talking a foreign language right now. I have no idea.
What's crazy, BJ? Like, what if you were playing in the game right now? How many threes would you have hit more than you did? Because obviously now it's just accepted. It's
Ronnie, it's kind of weird watching the game today because it's a totally different game. I think, like for instance, someone just brought this to my attention.
How many career threes did you have? Do you know the number off the top of your head?
I have no idea.
Come on.
No, I swear to you, I have no idea. I swear to you. Like, I grew up in a different era. Like, you didn't look at the stat sheets. You know what I mean? Like,
BJ hates that. He hates this.
Yeah, it means nothing to me, right? I grew up like, okay, you won or you lost, right? So, but no, someone just brought this to my attention.
You also played with a couple of the greatest players of all time.
Yeah, I wasn't getting a lot of shots. You didn't come there to see me, Ronnie. Let's be honest. Okay. Yeah. But someone just brought this to my attention. I made the most threes I ever made in a game was 8 threes in one game, right? Yeah. And that was like, I was gunning. That was like a big deal. Now you see guys do that like every night. Like, so I don't have the mindset to like put up 15 threes in the game. That was like a month's worth of work for me 100%. In our era. You didn't come down and shoot, like watching Steph like last night, for instance. The guy just comes down and shoots. Like there's no like pass, there's no that's a different era. How many would I make today? I don't think I can turn off the mindset that I currently have. Like, you got to pass the ball, move it from one side to the other, try to get the ball inside. Then you do your thing. I don't see me coming down with Michael Jordan on one side, Pippen on the other, and just jacking up a three. Ronnie, you would have to have some type of technology where you just blow the guy up. You know what I mean? Like BJ just blows up because that would be unacceptable. But it's a different era, so I really don't know. Ronnie.
No, I mean, what is a good shot? Steve Kerr talks about it all the time, right? Like, is he going to manufacture a basket down low by passing the ball around, or is that Steph shot early in the shot clock, double covered, a better look? It's just efficiency, right? It's all analytics now. Like that's the way the game has changed, and that's the way that 2K has had to kind of respond to how basketball was changing.
Well, BJ, you hit 436 threes in your career. Steph Curry is hitting 400 threes per season. That's just a testament to how much the game has changed.
Hey, absolutely. I mean, that's the way the game is, I mean, it's just when I watch the game.
You probably would have had 2 to 3x, maybe, somewhere in there.
If there's a player I think I probably could resemble the way the game is played, like I watch CJ McCullough, I go, okay, I kind of recognize the way he plays. You know what I mean? Like he plays a little bit, but the way these guys shoot off the dribble and the way they shoot so early in the shot clock, I think it's it's just a different game. It's fun. I mean, I certainly would have loved it.
CJ is a slam dunk for 1,000 threes in his career.
What's interesting is CJ averages about 9 3-pointers a game this season. BJ, the most 3-pointers you averaged per game was 3. And that was in the 94-95 season when, MJ wasn't around. So it's fascinating.
Finally got to take some shots.
It's fascinating. MJ's gone.
Big adjustment. I got one more shot. I got one more shot. It's a different era. I mean, it's fun. I love watching these guys play. And sometimes I will think like, God, that would be fun to just come down and, shoot. I mean, these guys are shooting like 50, 63s in one game. Like that's awesome as a team.
Yeah. Well, the game, 2K has had to evolve that way too. Like we spend so much time on the post, and not that we don't now, we obviously do, but to make sure that we are representing all the ball movement and all like the moving without the ball that happens now. You guys see that clip the other day of who was it? Is it
the Brooklyn Nets?
Who was the guy? No, it was one of the Bulls. It was like some side. Oh, it was Duncan Robinson. And he was moving without the ball.
Crazy.
And some fan was capturing the whole thing, and he must have taken he must have ran half a mile before he got that ball. Right, like that's the way that the game has changed in such a different thing. So before you just throw it down to the post, and sometimes you get an outlet pass, but most of the time the big guy was finishing that
yeah, shout out to Reggie Miller, because he seems to be the portal that everyone oh man, I want to run and move around like this guy. And he was the portal that all the other players, that he really influenced a lot of the players the way they play. And when I watch players today, I think of him, I think of Ray Allen in our era and the way the game is being played today.
And I even think guys like Rip Hamilton as well was great for that off the ball movement, coming off screens, curling. Right. But, we talked about BJ's player rating, and, oftentimes we see players making a big deal of the ratings they get every season. I know a lot of guys in the league, they're always checking to see what their ratings are like. I've had guys come to me and say, yo, Mo, I saw you at a 2K event. What's my rating? And I'm like, hey, listen, we gotta wait for the games to come out. But Ronnie, for you, because you've had a few run-ins with some players that weren't too happy about their ratings, what's the process of deciding that overall number? Because like with BJ, he's got a 93-point rating, but his overall doesn't look so great. And if he was a current player, he might not be too happy with it. What's the process that goes into how you decide the ratings that players get?
I think there's like close to 40 mini attributes now, and it's everything from from mental and physical attributes. Like there are, it's based straight on your free throw percentage when you're with your free throw rating. It's obviously based on your shooting ratings there, but then there's also like offensive IQ, defensive IQ, and like some of that is based on lots of film work and watching it. There's a panel of guys that do the rosters. I am not part of that panel. I definitely am able to push them in certain ways, especially when I hear good arguments from players or are very engaged community. But I am just the messenger boy.
I feel like I see a lot of people taking out on you because you're the face of the brand. So I feel like you get a lot of the displeased players and maybe fans. But then my other question is, how do you decide? Because it's a big honor now to be on the cover of NBA 2K. It's a huge honor for players. What's the selection process? Do you have a short list of guys and you narrow it down, or do you watch guys throughout high school, college? What's the process for deciding the cover athlete?
We definitely have a short list of candidates every year. It's, the people that you would expect are there. But one of the things that we're really looking for that I think is different than maybe the other sports games is somebody that's like we feel like is on the upward trajectory, right? Like Luka obviously has had a huge couple of years before he was put on the cover, but I don't think he had like that kind of like seminal moment, and we are expecting that with him this year. So like he felt like a very clear, distinct choice for the honor, and he had 51 last night. He's been balling out. It's usually that, and it's a very few like group of people at 2K that think about it. It's not like some huge panel. We definitely obviously listen to the fans there, but like in a lot of degrees, like we're trying to build a storyline around what the game is and what we want to message about the game, and then certain athletes just rise to the top of what we're trying to accomplish in the game that year. There's been so many examples of that. I think at Kyrie a couple of years ago, like that was the perfect guy that year. I feel like usually like we've kind of had a reverse curse too, right? Like KG won his first championship after he was put on the cover. Kobe had gone without a few championships, and then we put him on the cover and he won a championship. A lot of these guys won championships. They also change teams, but maybe that's just the state of the NBA, honestly. Yeah, I mean, it's a very like it's probably a simpler process than most people think. Like it's a few guys that are making a decision about a few athletes and trying to build it into the narrative of what 2K is trying to do that year.
I know BJ's got 2 names that he definitely wants to see on the cover of NBA 2K.
Let me hear it.
BJ, who's the young guys in the league you talk about all the time? You want to see on those covers?
Well, one, it's got to be John Morant, right? I mean, this guy has to be on. Like, I mean, he is so exciting of a player. And then my other guy, this just comes off the top, is Evan Mobley. I think Evan Mobley.
I think he's going to be a star.
It's
probably a little bit early. Probably,
yes,
right?
but that's what we're all about here. We're getting in early. We're getting in. We're getting the stock where it's. I think Evan Mobley is going to be, a star.
Top 5 guy in the league.
Yeah, I think so.
I agree. Yeah, good kid too. I just shot some content in Cleveland and got to meet him. Really, really nice kid. Yeah, the sky's the limit for that guy.
Man, Ronnie, while you're here, I know you've got a busy day. We don't want to take up too much of your time. We got to get some picks for the rest of the season from you. The trade deadline just finished, so James Harden's out of Brooklyn now. So I need to know who you think is going to be in the finals, who's going to win the finals, and who's going to be the MVP.
I'm kind of stunned about the Harden trade only because they were 13-3 with those 3 playing on the court at the same time. Like that is hard to change around. Now,
that's over like 2 years, though, Ronnie. That's over like 2 years.
Yeah, no, that's not good. Not the way that you want to draw it up, but I kind of like Ben Simmons there. I don't know if they'll gel fast enough, so I'm gonna have a hard time taking them in the finals. But like the East, I don't know, man. Like the Sixers, obviously, like I think that was a really good trade, and then it makes them both better immediately. I still don't believe in the Bucks. I know they won a championship, but like I don't know what it is. I think that championship being, like in the state that it was, like I can't get there. So I have no idea in the East. In the West, I actually do think the Warriors are going to go to the West.
Is that because you're a Bay Area boy, or is that a little bit biased?
No. Everybody.
Who did you just say, Ronnie? Who did you say in the West? Who did you just?
Warriors.
Everybody who follows me knows that I'm not a Warriors fan.
Stop it! Stop
Everybody who follows me knows I'm not a Warriors fan, but they're coming out of the West. Who do you guys think is coming out of the West?
Phoenix.
The Suns.
Phoenix. They're looking crazy. You saw them
Phoenix
against Milwaukee
definitely has the
day.
Warriors number too, because like the Warriors don't have anyone right now that can defend Aiden, but like Chris Paul. Steph sort of has Chris Paul's number.
Yeah, I hear you on that.
So,
who you going for MVP though? Who you going for MVP though, Ronnie, this year?
MVP this year. That's a good question. It would have been KD. It would have been Steph. Like both of those guys have probably bounced to the background. I don't know. It's wide open.
Wide open, yo. We're gonna see the 2K athlete Luka make a late run.
He could. This one's wide open, which is it's going to be fun. Like whoever makes a run towards like one of those top seeds, I think that's probably where it's going to end up. It's probably going to be Giannis though, right? I
wouldn't be mad. I think Embiid is there as well.
Embiid maybe
depends how it works.
No. Yeah.
But I got one more last question before we let you go, and it's Ronnie. When you're playing 2K just for fun, who's your favorite team or player to play with on the game? Because you're around 2K all day. You do streams, you do shows with the athletes, with celebrities. But when you're just trying to relax, what's your go-to squad? Do you have a go-to squad that you like to ball out with?
You know what's funny? I say this a lot in interviews. I change teams every year in terms of who I like to play with, because I do a lot of like the roadshow presentations and stuff. So like I want to give it like a different look when the opportunity arises. This year, I've been playing. Who have I been playing a lot? I mean, I was playing Brooklyn, but no, there was some like random team I've been playing a lot. Maybe it wasn't. You know what? It was Memphis. I was playing with Ja a lot, and that's probably not surprising. Like he's so fun to play with. But I love playing with KD in the game as well. That like my micro has his shot as opposed to the one that all the community takes. You know, I feel comfortable with that shot more than any other. So yeah, like it's amazing how big the game has gotten to. You know, there's so much to do that like it's hard to like divide the time, especially with me running around the country and doing more stuff with WWE and PGA as well.
Right.
So like I spend a lot of time in the city. That's probably, and then I dabble a lot in my team. I usually start playing my team after All-Star. Yeah, I don't play quick game as much as I used to, unless I'm at an event or something.
I feel you. Well, Ronnie, congratulations, 14 years with 2K, a big inspiration. We appreciate all the hard work that you do. We appreciate yourself, the whole 2K team, the developers, the 2K UK people, for bringing us on this journey with this partnership. So on behalf of BJ and I just want to say thank you, and we appreciate you.
Yeah, I'm excited to be doing more with you guys. And anytime you need me, you got my number.
All right, Ronnie. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, good to see you.
We appreciate it, man. Have a great day. So BJ, we are now officially sponsored by, partnered with, whatever you want to call it, the amazing people at NBA 2K. So we're going to have to teach you the game. We're going to have to get you involved.
Yes,
We're going to have to get you on the console. Now, we talked about Ja Morant just earlier. Who are some players? Obviously, there's Michael Jordan, and you know, that's Michael Jordan. But if 2K was around in the 80s, the 90s, who are some underrated players that the fans listening to this might not know about that would have been amazing in a video game, or that would have been amazing on the cover? Who was the most exciting guys that are a little bit under the radar? You know, when I talk about like Baron Davis in the early 2000s, he was electric. He might not be the biggest of names, but watching Baron Davis when he used to throw down dunks, or we talk about Jason Williams, the way he used to cross guys over. So who from kind of your generation or even before would have underappreciated, the underrated guys that newer NBA fans might not know about?
Man, it's, you know, one of the guys, I don't think he's underrated, but one of the guys I would have loved to have seen in the video game is the doctor.
Dr. J?
Julius Erving. Yeah, I would have loved to have seen the doctor. I would have loved to have seen Connie Hawkins. One of the guards I would have loved to see, he was so fun to watch, was Michael Ray Richardson, the Sugar Man. Would have loved to have seen him. Earl of Pearl Monroe, AKA Black Jesus. I would have loved to have seen him with the spin move. You know, some players were just fun to watch. You know, obviously the Magic Man, you know, but you know, when I think about the exposure of today's game as compared to then, you didn't really see those guys play.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't
no
really
Instagram, no TikTok.
Yeah, you didn't really see those guys play. The athleticism and the physical ability of some of these players, you know, it was just amazing to watch. You know, Dominique Wilkins, for instance, you know, just comes to mind. You know, when I think of the players, Sean Kemp, you know, I'm just going off the top, you know, guys.
The Rain Man.
You know, the Rain Man. I mean, the athleticism to me
I'll tell you what
stood out or would have stood out.
And I'll tell you the best part about all of this, BJ. All of these guys are in the game. They've put in all the old school legends. You can get in there.
Is Pistol Pete in the game?
I believe so. I'm gonna have to double check, but I know you can get him on my team. Pistol Pete, yeah. So here's the thing. Like, you can go back and play with the classic squads. You can get the classic players. So, you know, it's a wave. And I'm gonna put you on. I'm gonna come out there, teach you how to play. But this is my other question for you. Is nowadays NBA players, they love playing video games. You know, after a game, players will be online. Players do streams of them playing games, whether it's 2K or whatever they're playing. And after games or on road trips, whatever, they've all got the consoles out and they're all playing. For you, in your playing days, what were you doing that you can share with the people after the games, on the bus, on the plane?
Yeah.
What was it?
Yeah. You know, I'm very thankful, you know, to have grown up in the era that I grew up in. And here's why, you know, being a parent now, and I have a 21-year-old, my daughter is 19. She's a freshman in college. My son is a sophomore in college. And I have a younger kid who's 6. So, you know, I got a wide range here. And it's interesting to watch what they do, especially my oldest son, what he does, and then what I did at 2021. And what did I do on the road trip, right? I don't know how I knew this, Mo, but I was the one thing that always I respected, right? I wasn't afraid of it, but I respected, right? There was two things that I didn't want. I didn't want to have time on my hands and money. Time plus money equals trouble.
Mm-hmm. A man
and suddenly,
I heard a quote the other day: a man with too much time and a man with too much money will soon run out of both.
Okay. So when I got to the NBA, Mo, I suddenly, as a young kid from the city of Detroit, I didn't grow up with money, you know. I suddenly had a few dollars, and I suddenly had a lot of time. There's only 82 games a year, and those games are only 48 minutes. And you can only practice so much. Everyone, you can only, you know, now y'all call it grinding. You can only practice so much. Okay. But while they're practicing, practicing and not doing this will negate the practice if you don't rest. Rest and recovery is part of the grind. So if I go and shoot 10,000 shots in a day, like all these guys claim on Instagram, if you don't rest and recover, it negates it. But every time I see them, they're partying, everyone's popping bottles, everyone. So the recovery is part of the grind.
I hear it.
Mo, if I go to the gym and I work for 2.5, 3 hours, I have to go recover so that I can be ready for the next day. These guys load manage, and then that's part of their recovery because they were out doing whatever they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Mo, you forgot, Mo, you're talking to me now, Mo. I played 82 games a year.
Yep.
All of this load management, Mo, I'm not buying it.
And when you played, the doctors, the physios, the therapies, they didn't have that. You didn't have this Cairo chamber or whatever the hell they call it, and these moon boots that they wear for recovery. You didn't have that.
So what was I doing, Mo? So this is what I was doing. Okay. 82 games meant something to me. All right. Because I looked at all the other guys that I was in the locker room with, and I said, okay, I have a responsibility to those guys. And that responsibility is to give everything I have. That was my responsibility. So everything I did was to make sure I upheld my end of the bargain. I couldn't guarantee that I was going to play well every night, but I could guarantee this: I will show up. And I looked across the room and I looked at other guys. Bill Cartwright, show up. John Paxson, show up. Horace Grant, show up. So forth and so on. Once I got there, Bo, then I could start worried about, okay, what's my role to help us win the game? So you asked me what I was doing. Okay, Mo, what I would do is I would get up, and the first thing I would do, if practice was at 10, I tried to get up at a minimum 3 hours before practice, just to get myself going, because I felt an obligation to practice well. Why? Because if I didn't show it in practice, guess what, Mo? I wasn't going to show it in the game.
You ain't going to get in the game if you don't show it in practice.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't like, well, I'll just get up at,
I know teams that don't practice anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
I know players that don't practice.
Okay, so that was the first thing. Second thing I tried to do, we had a little thing that we'd always say: if you eat at McDonald's, you're going to play like Ronald. So whatever you put in, Mo, is what you gonna get out.
Can I tell you a funny story, BJ?
Yes, you can.
I once had dinner with Ray Allen, and we've gone to eat dinner, and we've been working all day. We've been doing workouts all day, right? And I'm hungry, right? And I was like, I was a kid, so my metabolism, I'm just eating whatever I want, right? So I'm hungry. So I've ordered a pizza and pasta. Okay. Ray, sitting opposite me on the table, has ordered a turkey breast salad. And he looks at me and he goes, "Yo, Mo." And I said, "What's up?" He goes, "If you had a Ferrari, what kind of fuel would you put inside the Ferrari? The cheap one or the really good quality one?" And I looked at him and I said, "Well, obviously the really good quality one." And he goes, "So why are you putting that in your body?" And I've never felt so disgusted with myself in my life. Because this man is 40 years old running marathons. And I'm here in the prime of my life eating a damn pizza.
And Mo, listen, all my kids were raised on that, right? I ate it. But I understood if I'm going to go out there and give you my best, Mo, you're paying money to see me. You're paying money to see me, Mo. Mo, you from the UK. You may only come to Chicago once in your lifetime. I have a responsibility to give you the very best of everything I'm doing. Not when the lights are on, when the lights are off. So every morning, Mo, when I wake up, I try to get the best food I could possibly get. For breakfast, I tried to eat the very best for lunch, and I tried to eat the very best for dinner. Now, what would I go to practice, Mo? Shoot around. I would do that. I'm gonna give you Mo. I'm a pro. I'm gonna give you the best I got. I can't focus if I'm hungry. I can't run if I'm hungry. I can't lift weights if I don't have the right fuel. So that was part of the deal. Okay. So Mo, after that practice or after that shoot around, the very first thing I'm going to do is recover. I'm going to get my ice. I'm going to get my stretching. I'm going to get my weights. And then I've got to put my shake, my recovery shake, my recovery drink, water all day. Okay, now, Mo, it's already noon.
Yeah.
Now, Mo, I know I got to run. So the first thing I got to do is take care of my business. I got to get to the bank. I got to go to the cleaners. I got to, my car needs to be serviced. Whatever is essential for my day, I do. Non-essential things. I'm not walking around the mall. I'm not going to the afternoon, club or whatever it is. Can't do that. And then, Mo, I have a responsibility to get off of my feet.
Okay.
Now, if it's a game day, Mo, I'm going to go get my pasta. I'm going to get my food. I'm going to eat. I always ate 4 hours before the game. And I got to the game at least 2-3 hours before because, Mo, I wanted to get myself ready to play where I can eliminate all of the distractions.
You have a pregame nap. Are you a player that had a pregame nap? A lot of players now have a nap.
The pregame nap started for me, Mo. I don't know if I was napping or meditating, but I could just get myself in a quiet space where there was no distractions. There was no phones. There was no company. I didn't like people to touch me. You know how you walk out and
everyone wants to shake your hand and dap you up.
I didn't. I wanted to get my space on game day.
Yeah.
Because if that gave me a clear conscience that if I didn't play well, I did everything I could.
Yeah, it's on you. It's on you.
It's on me. That's like, okay, so I got off of my feet. Would I get a nap before a game? Yeah, I would always get a nap, or I would just meditate. I would just get in my zone. Like, I would just zone out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't call me. I'll call you on that game day.
Yeah.
And then if it wasn't a game day, I would go get me a nice meal. I always wanted to eat before 7 o'clock. Why? Because I wanted everything to digest so that, because I knew I had to run. I was a guard. So I couldn't just push and shove. So I couldn't have a steak at 9:30, 10, and then chase those guys around the next day. You know what I'm saying? If I were going to have a nice steak, I wanted to get it at 6, get it out of the system so that, I could, Mo, they're just telling you. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to get, and then I'd be ready to go. Now, that was me. Now, what did I do? I always tried to put, Mo, because I believe in this. I always try to put positive thoughts in my mind.
Yeah.
So so the reason I love hip hop music is because I always was listening to the lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
I was always listening to the conscious music, because you can't get anything out when you putting in negative things. So I always put as many positive things that I can put in, what I was listening to. And then I would try to read on game day, because reading allowed me to focus.
What you read?
I knew I had to take the game plan.
Fiction, non-fiction, business.
Mo, I always, Mo, I was reading Sigmund Freud. I was reading
psychology.
Philosophy.
Philosophy.
Philosophical things, because I always wanted to understand the person next to me. So the great thing about being on the team was you're playing with people from all around the world. I wanted to see Tony Kukoc, for instance. Like, I had never been to Croatia.
Yeah.
Well, tell me about you. But I wanted to understand him. He was learning the language. What's it like, Tony, for you to move from Croatia, not know how to speak English, and uproot and move your entire family here to Chicago, and you've never been to Chicago? Like, I wanted to understand, like Bill Cartwright, he was from Northern California. Okay. Scotty was from Arkansas. Like, it's not like you're just hanging out with these guys your whole life. You're Phil Jackson's from Montana. I don't know anything about Montana. Yeah. So I wanted to expand my horizons on how to communicate, how to talk to people, how to interchange, and I wanted to have some leadership, because I played in a position that required me to be a leader, whether I wanted to be it or not.
Yeah.
Right. And you can't have any relationship without trust. So the way I spoke, the way I carried myself, the way I dressed, the way I played, my body language, all of those things, to me, I was interested in, because suddenly I was placed in this environment that, whether I wanted it or not, it was there. So that's how I would just read. I was a ferocious reader. I would want to read. I would read Immanuel Kant. I would read Sigmund Freud, and then I would read, Aristotle. I would read whatever I could read. Like, if you were in my house right now, I just have books, because I just wanted to always read, and I wanted to read something that applied to something I was really doing. I didn't, I love Star Wars and all those things, but it didn't apply to me. Yeah. So I wanted to read, you know what I mean?
I hear it.
You follow what I'm saying? I wanted to understand.
Philosophy expands generations, civilizations, man.
That's why I love, I feel you. So I would read, and that's what I would do. Now, the biggest thing I would do, Mo, is I really took great pride in making sure my responsibility every day. I had a responsibility to bring the effort and the energy. So I really I took pride in how to rest. Yeah. I became an expert in how to rest. Man. I knew how to, I knew my routine on the road. I knew what I needed to do, and I knew what I needed to do to be at my best. And losing was going to happen. I knew that, but it was unacceptable when I didn't do my best.
I feel you.
You understand, Mo?
I can say I understand, but as someone who doesn't rest, no. But I feel you, because being an athlete, you have to rest for your body to be in physical shape. Whereas me, I can sit here at this desk all day, show after show after show, and video.
I know, Mo, I knew I had to get 8 to 10 hours of sleep.
That's what everyone tells me.
If I had a chance to be at my best.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's some of your, some guys have special talents. They have y'all call them cheat codes. Yeah. Okay. I don't want to name because guys, some of their special talents is the following. Some guys don't really need to sleep.
Yep.
That's a talent.
Yeah.
No,
but it gets harder as you get older.
No. Some people have the special talent. They have the special soul.
Never needing sleep. Yeah.
They don't need sleep. Some people that I played with, they were on what I call team no sleep. They didn't have to sleep. They didn't have to rest. They didn't have to take a pregame nap. They just had the special gift. That's why I wanted to become and work in the front office, because I realized that the greatest player to ever play hasn't played yet. Because some of these players don't rest or don't sleep. They're just that gifted. Because I don't care who you are, you have to sleep. You have to rest. It's part of the human condition. But some of these guys,
you make me feel bad for being up watching the damn Phoenix Suns until 6 a.m. every day.
But some of these guys, they figured out how to perform at an elite level on no sleep.
Yeah. So you're saying
if they would sleep,
yeah, they could take it to the next level. Sleep,
oh, they would be beyond the next level.
And we'll never know.
And we will never. This is what I'm saying. Some guys have a special gift. They got the special dust.
Man, and I hear like LeBron gets like 12 hours of sleep a day. He'll have like 8 hours a night, 4 hours in the afternoon. I remember Jason Kidd.
He gets
would always get loads of sleep.
Some guys who I shall be anonymous. They probably didn't get 12 hours of sleep their entire career.
Man.
See, they got the special. It's the special. They got the special dust. Mo, to play, you get a little dust. Everybody got a little dust. Right? Everybody got a little dust because they're great at something. Everybody's great at something. Whether you know it or not, you're great at something. But some of them got the special dust. Mo,
I feel you.
And this is why I admire these players to this degree. You did that with no sleep. That's way more impressive than a guy who just does everything right.
I hear it.
Mo, some of these guys are so impressive that you go, I wonder how good he could be if he ate right and just slept a little bit.
I'll tell you what. Let's find out. This podcast is already amazing. Let's see what happens when Mo starts resting and eating correctly. Let's see the levels that we can take this show. Because those are two things I definitely have not been doing while I've been trying to make it in this media world. I don't do no damn sleeping properly, and I don't have time to be cooking and eating properly. So listen, that's your Monday motivation for everyone tuned in, listening. Take those wise words on board. That's from an NBA champion. BJ played like 7 seasons without missing a game. Okay. Nowadays, your favorite players, they miss every other game. They miss every road game. They can't play back-to-backs. Okay. So take this wisdom on board. Have a great week, a productive week. And, keep that special sauce simmering. And until next time, get buckets.